Hey everybody, I am privileged today to be with an old friend of mine, Kristi. Kristi is my cousin's wife. We've known each other for a very long time, and Kristi has inspired me greatly over the years in my personal weight loss journey. So Kristi, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And Kristi, how much weight have you lost over the years?
I have kept off 80 pounds since
Holy cow.
2015.
That is incredible. Congratulations, Kristi. And Kristi, how did your weight loss begin in the first place? Or your weight gain begin in the first place, rather?
Well, I was a normal sized kid, probably until around first grade. And then around that time, I experienced a lot of trauma in my childhood and really became a binge snacker. Actually, so much so that I would hide food. I would sneak out into the kitchen when my parents weren't looking, and I'd grab snacks, bring them back to my room. Sometimes I'd hide snacks into the bathroom. Definitely created a binge snacking situation.
Did you have a favorite snack in particular by any chance?
Always chips, cookies, ice cream, Diet Coke. I loved Diet Coke as a kid, and now I can't stand it. Which is funny, you'd think Diet Coke is not a terrible snack, but it was definitely something I drank a lot of as a kid. And so I would say probably first, second grade, I really gained quite a bit of weight in that year, and then continuously gained weight throughout the years. Always active. I played sports. Never was one to not participate in an activity that involved, moving your body. But food was always a significant issue.
And how long did the weight gain last? Until what age, give or take?
I had lost weight several times throughout my life. When I was going from 8th grade to 9th grade, I had lost about 70 pounds.
Wow.
And that was pretty significant. Of course, that was around, a time when you're starting to really care about what you look like and what your peers are, seeing you as. And I also had braces and glasses, and then I got contacts and my braces came off. So it was really like, I guess they call it glow up, right?
Yeah.
And so it was really like a glow up time.
Cool.
And then through high school, I gained quite a bit of weight. By the time I graduated high school, I was about 250 pounds.
Wow.
And then after high school, I lost about 50 pounds. And then I would say probably from the period of time between 2006 to 2011, I got up to 320 pounds.
Holy cow. And it sounds like you yo-yoed your way up all the way up to 320, huh?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
did you have we'll call it an aha moment, a moment when it really clicked that what's happening needs to stop, and you started your weight loss journey for reals?
Yeah. So I just think it's important to know folks are always wanting that aha moment. They're always wanting something to define, here's what happened, and this is what kicked my butt into gear. And I just want to make sure I say I had many aha moments, many times where I should have been kicked in the butt to make it happen. One example in particular was I actually was denied life insurance when I was 34 years old.
Holy cow, that's scary.
Yeah. Actually, no, 32 years old. 32 years old, and yeah, denied life insurance because I was too risky. And that wasn't enough to kick my butt in gear. So I just want to make sure I, share with folks when they're looking for that aha moment. Sometimes you just have to create it out of whatever worked. And so for me in particular, I went away on a vacation to Maine with my family. We rented a house on the beach. I was about 320 pounds, in and out of the hospital, thinking about disability, really in a rough shape in my life. I read a book called The Buddha, A Story of Enlightenment by Deepak Chopra. And all of those things collectively, just this beautiful vacation with my family, reading this book, was enough for me to come back home and say, okay, this is it. I'm going to do something about this. And I bought a NutriBullet to make green smoothies. I bought a double stroller for my kids. And on July 25th, 2012, I just made that day one. And that's my fitversary.
Awesome. That's really cool. And I like that term, fitversary. That's a really cool one. And obviously you started, and did you have a goal? Was there we'll say an end in sight, or if you reached a certain weight loss, a classic "I'll be happy when" goal?
Yes. I just wanted to be under 200 pounds.
Yeah.
That was my goal.
And then you set your goal, you started training, and I'm going to assume eating better, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. What did you do to begin losing weight and then to continue losing weight over the years to come?
I really focused a lot on nutrition at first, doing the green smoothies, making sure that I cut out, the obvious bad snacks to have. I actually still 8 years later drink that green smoothie every day.
Awesome.
Same exact one, same exact smoothie that I started. I mastered it and I love it, and I still drink that same one, and I'm not sick of it.
You're not sick of it at all?
I'm not sick of it. I love it.
Wow.
And so, I did nutrition first. I started doing a little bit of walking, but I really wanted to focus on food. It's easier to focus on physical activity first.
Yeah.
And so for this time around, I just wanted to, I'll get to the exercise later. And then my mother-in-law said, "Hey, I'm going to run a 5K. Does anybody want to do it with me?" And I thought, I might want to do that.
Cool.
And so I did sign up for a 5K, and I started training to run, which is crazy because, just to put it in perspective, when I was a kid, when you had to run the mile in school, I was so stubborn about that. I absolutely refused to run, and I would walk it even with my teachers yelling at me that I needed to run. I was like, I'm not running.
Yeah, I hated it. I was always the last one too, and it was like shameful to go to gym class.
Yep. Nope. I refused. And then there's this other big piece of what helped me with starting my journey, and I want to make sure I have time to say this, is connection with self, mindfulness, meditation, journaling, activities that really connected me to purpose, was probably different than anything I'd ever done with my weight loss journey in the past.
How different would it be? Could you talk a little bit more about that? Because it's not something that I can say I've gone too deep into myself yet.
So in the past, when when I had lost a significant amount of weight, it was very much based on, I want society to view me better. I want to fit in more. I want people to like me. I wanted attention to find a boyfriend. And it wasn't about me, and it wasn't about what I wanted. And so this time around, and I think reading the Deepak Chopra book to start it off was really kind of set the stage to allow me to understand that I really needed to be mindful, connect with myself, connect with the purpose of why I'm doing this.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So internal motivation, not external motivation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you were talking about the running. Have you continued running over the years?
I have. I have run a total of 41 races, 3 of which were half marathons, and I continue to run.
Awesome. And you said you had set a goal for yourself. Did you eventually hit that goal?
I did. With my highest weight being 320 pounds, I actually got down to 180 pounds.
That's crazy.
And lost 140 pounds altogether.
Wow. And how did you feel when you hit that goal?
This is such a great question, and I feel bad answering it in this way, but it was weird. I knew that I was going to step on the scale that morning, and I knew I was going to be 180 pounds, and I knew I would be like, check the box, reached my goal. But it was a very strange feeling. There was no fireworks, there was no confetti out of the scale, there was no cheering crowd, like, you did it. And I really kind of analyzed where I was at in that moment. It was like, gosh, I mean, I know I felt great. I had so much energy. I wasn't sick anymore. And I knew I should be excited about it, but it was kind of like, I don't know if I feel any better. I don't know if I feel any
Yeah.
different with this number on this scale. And so I learned a lot in that moment of, you think that you will get to this goal and it will solve all of your problems and it will be wonderful. And then when you get there, it's kind of like, a little anticlimactic. And I think it's honestly the reason why people statistically regain weight plus more, because I
Yeah.
think you get there and you're like, I did it, whatever.
Yeah, and why do you think that is? Is it an issue of internal versus external motivation? Is it an issue of, we'll say, the realization that the journey isn't over?
So I think that the realization that the journey didn't end is a really difficult thing to accept. And I think that it highlighted that this journey, not only is it physical, it's very mental, very, very mental. And
Indeed.
so, and it was a really strange feeling to feel like, yeah, this is great. And then I would tell people about it and I would expect that would feel better. And again, so we're talking about, that external motivation to get things done just does not work. And all of society's programs and instructions on how to lose weight are very external. And so it's a very personal journey to make that internal. And it was a battle within myself to be like, okay, I need to celebrate this. And at that time, I felt weird about celebrating. It just didn't feel
Yeah.
good enough.
Yeah. What do you think would feel good enough? Do you have any ideas on what that might be?
Well, I think so I think it's a good time for me to say I was hesitant to do the interview because obviously I'm not still 140 pounds lost.
Yeah.
I have regained some weight, almost up to 60 pounds of a regain actually, and now I'm down a little bit. I maintained my weight until about 2017. So I had reached my goal 2015, maintained it to 2017, which I beat the statistics right there, right? Excellent.
Yeah.
Kudos to me. High five.
Yeah,
But
that's
still,
awesome. That's incredible.
2017, I slowly started to regain, and there's a lot of shame and sort of regain and kind of losing your way a little bit. But I kind of had to really step out of my comfort zone and really be accountable and own it. This is a part of
Yeah.
my journey. This absolutely is a part of my journey. So to get back to your question of, I felt like I needed, in this moment right now, I needed to regain this weight to connect myself mentally, to be able to decide a different goal and to have a different journey when I do reach that goal, if that makes sense.
It does. And yeah, I mean, even regardless of some weight gain coming back, you've still maintained an 80-pound weight loss for years and years and years. And that's incredible. And I mean, you've definitely beat the statistics on that one. To the best of my research, they say only about 20% of people who lose extreme amounts of weight are able to keep it off. The other 80% gain it all back and then some, which is terrifying to think about. And it sounds like you're on the right track again, moving forward.
Yeah.
And what do you think caused the weight to come back on in the first place?
So I know exactly what it was. I prior to 2015, I was never a big drinker. Uh, and in 2017 was a particularly difficult time in my life. I had accepted a job promotion. I was getting my doctorate degree. I had some pretty significant social relationship issues, not with my husband, but other things. It was a really, really difficult time in my life. And I just happened to fall into these gin and cranberry drinks every night. It was never, an excessive amount or anything like
Yeah.
that, but it was just enough for me to find a new vice in life,
Yeah.
right? Prior, it was binge snacking, and now it was like, I'm going to get home from work and I'm going to have a drink. And with drinking comes eating more food and
Yeah.
your inhibitions, so it was,
And less physical exercise. So
less physical.
yeah.
Yeah, I was not
Yeah.
exercising when I was drinking those gin and cranberries.
Mhm.
And so I just recently finished up a sober October.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that was yesterday, October 31st. That was really exciting. and lost 15 pounds in the month of
Wow.
October already.
Awesome.
So I had struggled from the regain of 2017. I mean, I am happy to say that I maintained my weight gain from 2017 till 2020. So that's important to say too. I didn't, I regained that weight 2017 very rapidly and then maintained it, but was fighting against trying to build out a process to finally lose it again. And I honestly think training one vice for another was the catalyst of regaining the weight, and then obviously going to be the answer to getting back on track.
So you're back on track with the nutrition, the training. You're back on track with the drinking. Is there a danger of yet a new vice popping into your life, or
always,
is
always? And that's why this is like a forever journey. I love that when I talk to other folks that have lost a significant amount of weight. I have a really good network through Instagram of folks that have lost significant amount of weight, and we all agree that this is a forever journey. There is no end date. There is no, okay, when I get here, life will be perfect. This will continue to be a journey, and I don't think it should be called a struggle. It's a journey, and it has its ups and downs, just like any journey. And I feel okay to live in that place of calling it a journey.
Me too. Yeah, absolutely. And I can't agree with you more, especially with the alcohol. And I know there have been periods in my life where I drank more than I should have. And those were periods where I was the least active and the most binge eating with the lowest quality food. And I've largely removed alcohol 100% from my life. But even in those rare moments when I do indulge, it's just, man, I don't want to exercise. Like, inhibitions are gone. I can eat the entire pizza by myself if I felt like it, and not to mention drinking more and more and more. So not that everyone needs to be abstinent from alcohol to be healthy, but I've found it to be incredibly helpful too.
Yeah.
And you've lost a lot of weight. You've maintained the weight. I'm curious, what do you find more challenging, losing the weight to begin with and getting kick-started into action, or maintaining the weight once it has been lost?
Absolutely maintaining, for sure. Because losing, there's always something to objectively look at, your weight, your measurements. There's always like this feeling of like, oh, I'm making progress. When you're maintaining it, for me, for somebody who needs to be in control with a plan, it's just too loosey-goosey. I'm like, I'm gonna go out of control if I maintain. I always need a plan. And so definitely maintaining.
Now, for everyone out there listening to this interview right now, what would be the advice that you would give them as they're either beginning their weight loss journey or continuing their health and fitness journey, or perhaps even in a maintenance stage themselves? What advice do you have for them?
I get asked this question all the time through all of my social media platforms from folks. And I always feel slightly uncomfortable providing advice because, again, it's such a personal journey. But I do have things that I specifically say, which is keep it simple. Don't make it too complicated. And recognize that life is going to get in the way and you have to roll with it. And not to feel defeated when you have a regain or something happens where you haven't been working out for a week, and it's just all part of the experience. Weight loss is not linear. If you looked at my weight graph, even when I lost 140 pounds, it all over the place. And I think folks expect it to be a very linear process. And so, but start small, focus on food. Always focus on food first and move in your body. Park your car farther away, take the stairs. Sometimes if I'm sitting for a long time, I have an Apple Watch, which is great because it tells me when to stand. I'll get up and do a little bit of a walk in my office, or when I'm home, I'll get up and walk around. Just any little bits of time to move your body a little bit more. And then when you are ready to incorporate physical activity and exercise, just make sure that it's something that you enjoy doing. Running is not for everyone. But for me, it was something that connected well with that mindfulness and time with myself. I would run by myself, listen to music, sometimes not listen to music.
Mhm.
And it was great. It was my own little meditation time.
Awesome. And do you have any advice for people who are either, we'll say, going through a relapse right now in this very moment? Any words for them?
Yeah, I would just say recognize it as a part of the journey, and there's a reason behind it. There's perhaps a lesson to be learned for preparing yourself mentally and emotionally to get to the goal that you've set for yourself.
Awesome. Now, Kristi, I've known you a while. I know you to be an incredibly awesome person, but also a humble person. And you've gone through this entire process without even mentioning raising a family, being a wife and a mother, working multiple jobs, going through school, becoming a doctor, getting published, all of these other amazing things, and making time for health and fitness, exercise, proper nutrition. Like, how do you do all of this without exploding, just how?
I get asked that question a lot too. And I think I have this really good skill of organizing my time. And it's just something I've always been good at doing. And I think that if you put out a plan, obviously with some contingency that it may change and not being hard on yourself when it changes, you can definitely make it happen. I thrive a little bit in chaos too. So it's important to say, not everybody likes that, but I like to be busy. And so I have been able to do it because of the support of my family and friends. I could not do it hands down without my husband. And so.
Awesome. Well, Kristi, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to chat with me and to share your story with everybody out there and hopefully inspire them on their health and fitness journeys as well. And for anyone who's watching this right now and is interested in either learning more about you and the work that you do, how can people get in touch with you?
So I am on Instagram. It's Dr. Crisscross. I'm on Facebook, but generally my Instagram is my page where I share my weight loss journey or healthy living journey the most. And I'm on, of course, LinkedIn. I do have a publication through Jonah, which I'm happy to share a link to that. Unrelated to weight loss, but still it's a cool article.
Cool.
And yeah.
Awesome. And Kristi, what's next for you?
Oh gosh. So I am currently thinking about running another half marathon, but
Awesome.
COVID has impacted that significantly,
Sure.
and I'm not interested in doing a virtual half marathon, so I may have to wait till 2022. I'm going back to school in January to get my graduate certificate in population health, and I'm really excited about that. And just, trying to complete this journey of, just not drinking the booze and having some consistency and string along consistency. And I just want to see where this goes. I have
Nice.
no end goal. I'm just like, let's just see what happens.
Awesome, Kristi. And Kristi, I have one last little story for you. I don't know if you even know this yet, but Kristi ran 40 5K races by her 40th birthday. And on your 40th birthday, if I'm not mistaken, you did your 40th, correct? And it was a virtual race. And because it was a virtual race, everybody could do it together with Kristi. And I ran that race with Kristi here in the Netherlands while she started where she's living. And Kristi, that was my very first 5K run ever.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In my life. And since then, I've since gone out. I've got a runner's watch. I went out, I got some runner shoes, and now I'm running all the time. And I'm running at least twice a week. This coming month, I'm going to be running 3 times a week. I've gotten up to about 11.5 Ks on a run. And I'm on a mission to get up to that half marathon and a marathon and maybe even beyond moving forward. So not only have you inspired me in the past, but you've helped kickstart my running journey as well. So I thought you might like to know that.
I didn't hear that, Jack. I had no idea. That's awesome.
Cool. Well, Kristi, thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Jack.